Okay, so this is my 1984, January 84 GPz550 H2. Let me just give you a quick walk around so you can see some of the work I've had to do to restore this nearly 40-year-old motorcycle. I'll start at the front end just to talk you through some of the challenges, and then try and do the side and the rear, although space is quite tight at the moment. So on the front end itself, classic twin disc setup with leading front axle. For me, when I got this bike, both fork seals were blown, significant pitting on the fork tubes themselves and the main bodies. So they've been replaced now. I managed to source new old stock stanchions, genuine Kawasaki oil seals now, and obviously new oil as well. Discs, as far as I can tell, are original. Wheel is original. There is some paint starting to flake. There's some minor corrosion, so I think that's going to be another job for another day, to take all this apart, strip it off, and get the wheel itself repainted. Mudguard itself is original and was in a very bad state, unfortunately being metal, and not particularly well painted on the inside. When the bike is ridden, obviously you get a lot of stone chip, and that allows rust to do its thing. Brakes themselves are repainted calipers, all original. The only thing I did do was actually change the brake hoses to go with a more modern. I actually went with the Goodrich Aeroquip braided lines. I don't think they look too bad. I tried to keep it as stock looking as possible. Moving up to the fairing, this is an original fairing, generally in pretty good order. The headlight I had with the bike actually was the wrong model. It was actually for Europe, so the beam deflection pattern was incorrect. But I managed to find, again, good old eBay, a genuine UK replacement. The housing was also cracked, so I had to replace the plastic housing because I couldn't actually adjust the headlight beam, which was a bit of a tricky moment during the MOT test. Bearing itself, generally in pretty good condition. I did replace a lot of the bracketry just because they were quite badly corroded. And again, I think the indicators themselves are original. Now this particular model is the H2, so it's the last of the generation of the Unitrack before they went into the A model. It doesn't actually have side reflectors, which I know some of the US and Canada models had that. Moving down onto the engine itself, the bike itself's only done about 17,000 miles, which is remarkably low mileage for a bike of this age. I do have some work still to do, so the horn itself is showing some signs of corrosion, so I'm going to have to get that cleaned up and repainted. The pipes themselves are the original black chrome double skinned units, genuine parts. Hard to find these days, and I had to search high and low to find them. The bike originally came with some aftermarket white chrome, which just didn't look quite right. The oil cooler itself is original, does need repainting, showing some signs. I managed to replace the plastic bezels around it. I do have new oil pipes as well, so that's another job for later this year. I'll take that apart and actually give it a clean up. I've actually ordered some paint, so I'm just waiting for that to arrive. Engine itself is untouced, unmolested. Makes a classic rattling sound when you start these bikes, but that's just the nature of the air-cooled bikes. Bit of can chain noise, etc. I have replaced the alternator cover. I have got the badge, I still haven't put it on yet, so there'll be a Kawasaki logo that goes on the side there. The carburetors themselves, now that was a massive problem. The airbox itself was cracked, and the bike itself wouldn't rev above 3,000 revs. Cut a long story short, I had to replace all of the rubber parts, so the connections from the carburetors to the airbox and to the engine. I had to completely disassemble all of the carbs, clean out all the jets, give them a thorough clean through. Also new petcock, because again that had perished, the rubber gone. So yeah, that was a lot of work, but once I got the carbs clean, got the airbox repaired, new air filter, and then purged the tank, fresh fuel. Finally I could get the bike to actually run half well. Unfortunately with these carbs themselves, they are very sensitive to vacuum leaks or air leaks themselves, so you really have to make sure you've got those well connected. Down the bike itself, I have replaced a few parts where they were either badly damaged or in poor condition. Generally speaking, the rest of the bike is pretty well standard and stock as well. The paintwork, yeah, I did get that done. I think the bike paint itself is as close a match as possible. I actually had a new old stock tail housing which I used as my paint references, and then gave it to Dream Team in Nottingham, UK, who then did the colour match and sprayed the rest of the bike in for me. And I think you can see they've done a lovely job of it. Instrumentation and clocks wise, pretty well all stock and standard. I have replaced some parts, so the left hand switch gear was in very bad order, so again I managed to source a new old stock version of that. Still looking to try and do the same for the right hand switch gear. It does function, but it's just a bit tatty. Likewise, I'll probably get around to painting the brake master cylinder at some point. New fuel tank filler cap, because the old one was badly corroded. The seat is original, and it's the original pattern for the seat as well. And the tail housing itself, I managed to source the new key cover, and again all of that is as original. So overall, not bad for a bike that is in its 38th year. It does run sweetly now. I have to say it's been a pleasure to restore this baby.